Hey, what is up guys? So I got some replays to share with you guys of a Chaos Synchro Dragon deck, which I think a lot of players are excited to see come out into the game because we have that new Dragon Structure deck coming out in the game. There's a lot of good cards coming out in that deck that you can utilize not just in the Felgrands, but you can utilize it in another type of deck. Now this one is a Chaos Synchro version of the deck, and I think it's pretty cool to see someone try something new and innovative in the game. Now, I think the Cosmo player, well, there's a few duels that we'll showcase. Some of them made some questionable plays, and I think that that's going to happen over the few course of the week or so, just because a lot of people have been moved from Dueling Network onto DevPro, so they don't know how things work in the game. So that said, it's more so about just showing off the Chaos Dragon Synchro deck, because it is actually pretty freaking sweet, and watch some of the duels. It is absolutely amazing what this guy actually pulls off, and it just shows you how good Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon is. Now, we don't have this card yet in the TCG, but once this card is released, I feel like Dragoonies are going to be seeing a lot more play, and just people will have a generic level 8 synchro that they will want to go into, and that one was a pretty fast duel. But we got some other duels to share off and showcase. So thanks Lord Drake for sending in these replays, man. I missed this deck. Like back when Macro Rabbit was a thing, Chaos Dragons were just real aggressive, and they were, I would say, a relatively budget friendly deck compared to the tour guides that you had to buy. I mean, this deck at one point did run tour guides. Some players did, at least, but for the most part, a lot of people just they couldn't afford the Dino Rabbit deck, so they had to improvise, maybe play something else. And it's really cool to see some of the combos that you can pull off in this deck. Like he's gonna go ahead and bust out Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon again, and then he makes Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, then he gets the free search. So I feel like this is a really cool card, and especially since he's able to play so aggressively, and you can see he's able to finish his opponent for game. And I like decks that have that ability to finish your opponent off for game when the right time comes. But nonetheless, I'm really excited to see how innovative players get with the new Dragon support. Interesting to see Trap Eater also in the main deck. But it's not that bad, because technically it's still just a dark that you can just get rid of if you need to get rid of it. But if you guys didn't know what Trap Eater does, I'm going to read its effect real quick while this guy's going off with his combo. But Trap Eater, it has to be special summoned by sending one face-up trap card your opponent controls to the graveyard. I wish it was face-up spell card. Now, if they ever make a trap, or I guess Spell Eater, wow, that card would be really good against pendulums. You'd always have quick access to that card. It's 1900 attack, it's a tuner, it's level 4, it's got a lot of utility, so against certain decks, maybe you can make good use of that card. I know against Phantom Knights, that'd be a pretty decent little card over there, because you go for your monster effect and negate it or something like that, it makes so you can't attack. But look what he goes off for. He makes the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, and then he also makes the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss card, and then once this card attacks, it gets get out more tuners, and it's just awesome what he's able to pull off. And his opponent is just going to be like Sword Troopers, and he's going to attack, and then he's going to change the effect, which he probably should have not done that, because he could have attacked over it, then got out. But it didn't really matter in the end, because you'll see that this card over here has a pretty good effect that you can target a face-up card your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of the turn anyways. So there's a lot of really good effects that Chaos Synchro Dragons can bring to the table, especially with some of the new support, again, from the Felgrand Structure deck. But there's another win over here, and it just showcases just a good, core combo set. You can see this guy, he goes off. He activates Reasoning Guys, goes for Maxi. He's got that Bottomless Trap Hole face down over here. And I don't know, I feel like maybe Dragon Ravine to 3, like I said, Dragoonies are probably going to see a little bit more play, because a lot of people like dragons just in general. That's always been a thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! People just enjoy dragons. But especially when they're relatively budget friendly. I would say this is relatively budget friendly as well. So he goes ahead and plays relatively aggressively over there. Had he not gotten bottomless though, he would have had game, but the guy has way too many Gagagas and not enough stuff. That kind of sucks. That Maxi draw into nothing. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that replay, and if you guys want the deck profile, let's go ahead and see if we can get this like button. Just kidding, man. You don't need to do that. We got the deck profile right here. Ain't gonna be like, gotta get the like button for the deck profile. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into it. This is his deck. I did not make this, so credit does go indeed to him, but I think we can make some improvements to make this deck better. But let's go ahead and jump right into it, and I'll talk a little bit about other cards we can add, or maybe if you're missing some of these cards, you can try to swap some cards. So anyways, we got Red Dragon, or Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. There ain't no Red Eyes here, man. But there's Dark Arm Dragon, there's 2 Light Pulsar, 2 Dark Flare Dragon, 1 Trap Eater, 3 Black Dragon, 3 White Dragon, 1 Keeper of the Shrine, 1 Birdman, 2 Junk Synchron, 1 Creation Resonator, 2 copies of Red Resonator, 2 copies of Jet Synchron, 2 Synchron Resonator, 2 Gospel Revivals, 2 Dragon Shrine, 1 Soul Charge, triple Reasoning, triple Tuning, double Twin Twister, 2 copies of Dragon Ravine, and then Castle of the Dragon Souls. For the extra deck, Red Nova, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, Red Dragon Archfiend Tyrant, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, we got Beals, Crystal Wing, then we got Scarlight, we got Scrap Dragon, Light End, Dark End, Stardust, Crystal, Moonlight, the Exploder Dragon Wing, and Red Wyvern. So some of these cards, as you guys saw in the replay, they were just used as stepping stones, specifically like these two, but nonetheless, these still have decent little effects. There is a few suggestions that I can give you guys, but like I said, let me know about other suggestions. So I feel like any Chaos version of a deck should definitely be playing Luster Soldier. Like this card over here, it should be in the deck. That's my first suggestion for you guys, but like I said, I want to show you guys as the original creator had it. But I think that's an excellent card. Because Chaos Dragons can be an explosive deck, I could recommend Max C. Now, one thing just as a heads up, if you're playing Max C or Effect Veiler, which is, Veiler is also really good because Veiler counts as a light, so that can help you out with your counts and stuff like that. But, when you run Reasoning, you risk the chance of going into Max C or Veiler. Now, Veiler is much better than Max C because, you know, obviously it's a light, plus it's also a tuner. But if you want to, then you can also play some, you know, Exceeds in the deck. So good Exceeds that I can recommend are Bouncer. So if we want to add that, I think Bouncer could be a great addition to the deck. I also think you guys can drop these 2 cards. I feel like, if anything, I would drop these 2 personally. Like Trap Eater, it's a great side deck card, but I don't really feel like it deserves a spot in the main deck, so that can be an option for you guys as well. Castle of the Dragon Soul. So once bringing banish a Dragon type monster from your graveyard, then on one face of monster you control, it gains 700 attack until the end phase. When this face of card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Dragon type monster, special summon it. It's got an okay effect, but most decks right now, they're just too fast, especially if you're only running like a 1 trap in the deck. More than likely that card is just going to get blown up, so I don't really recommend that. Although Dragon Ravine, I understand like that's like a really like hot target to hit anyway, so maybe you can kind of keep it alive with that aspect of, oh, they're going to destroy Dragon Ravine. But Dragon Ravine only really needs to get its effect like once anyways, so you can, you know, obviously discard it or send, you know, the appropriate card to the graveyard. It really helps your deck get rolling. Another card that I can recommend, maybe if you don't want to play some of these cards, like I said, I feel like these cards, you can really easily drop them. If you really want to play trap cards, I recommend the Solemn lineup, and then like Solemn, Bottomless, and also Vandy's Emptiness. Those are all excellent cards because this deck can establish relatively good boards, as you guys have seen. Like, you can throw out like a lot of boss monsters. So I think one card that can ruin this deck, depending on what you make. Obviously, if you're making Stardust Dragon, then you're fine on this. But like, I feel like this deck can throw out so many boss monsters sometimes that you can just game them. So I don't think that looking at like Emptiness is necessary. But if you want to, you can change up the extra deck. There's Spark. Stardust Spark Dragon could be a good addition to the deck if you really want to protect like maybe Ravine or something like that. Or again, Vandy's Emptiness plus this card is a very great combo indeed. You can also try running other, you know, Exceeds if you want to. I feel like it's a little bit difficult to get out like a lot of like different Exceeds. Like, yeah, you have access to 5s, yes, you have 6s, and there's 1 7, and maybe if you play Gore or something, yeah, you can maybe make use of like a rank 7. But for the most part, I think that you should maybe play like 1 Castell. That's a card I could recommend to you guys if you want to drop maybe like Light End, maybe even Dark End, like, and maybe even Scrap. Like, these cards just don't really see too much viability in the meta today. I really do like Scrap Dragon though, because if you have Dragon Ravine, you have easy access to that. But for the most part, I think Castell would be a great addition. Another card that can really help out against some monsters, just because sometimes if your opponent runs a deck that has like one of those like unpenetrable monsters, like the hexproof monsters, specifically like the Raid Rapper card, where it's got like 3,500 attack and it's like immune to everything basically. I mean, obviously you can make, there might be some options like you can Beals, and Beals can keep on getting stronger and stuff like that. But one card I think that you guys may like, Utopia the Lightning. Obviously you have to play Utopia at that point, but that's 2 slots, but you know, I don't really feel like Lightning Dragon's that viable right now in the meta, but you know, maybe you can make something lose a bunch of attack and you can game someone with that. But obviously, Utopia Lightning could be pretty good because you have access to level 4s. I feel like you don't really need Catastor, you don't really need Armades anymore. Like, I mean, yeah, you can definitely make use of those, especially since you have a lot amount of tuners. Another thing is, if I could spell Resonator, I don't know how to spell it. Resonator. Okay. So there's a card, Resonator Call. So if you want to drop any of these in count or just deck thin, I don't think it's a bad idea to run like 1 or 2 copies of like Resonator Call because you can deck thin. And you want to go as fast as possible right now, especially in a deck that can OTK. So I can recommend you guys to try out Resonator Call as well. But yeah, those are like my suggestions for the deck. Obviously, I think you guys have other suggestions that we can make improvements upon to make this deck even stronger. And let me know, guys, what you would add into this deck. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Thanks for sending in those replays as well as the deck profile. Appreciate it, man. Just something a little bit more innovative and something fun and also something that's like slightly competitive. It's not going to be like the best deck, but it can compete with some of the stuff, especially Cosmos. Again, any deck that has like a 1 monster field where Cosmos, that's very relevant. You just be like, attack over your card. Remember, this card gains a boost in attack, so you can run over like most of the stuff in Cosmos. And then on top of that, once they activate the effect in graveyard, you're like, nope, and you'll be good to go. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you guys give that like button a titty slap. And it's been your boy Will Smith. Signing out.